welcome to another episode of Game Overcast. My name is David KAELIN, and I am the Game Over CEO, and thank you for joining us again for another new episode. So what's been going on lately? Let's see. Just recently, we moved our clocks back, and we were just talking about that before the show today, that, it's hard getting up in the morning now because it's dark in the morning. And apparently Congress is putting forward a bill to make that permanent. So to stop us switching back and forth on the clocks. So it wouldn't go into effect until next year, but maybe we won't have to do this anymore. I don't know. But when I'm in the habit of getting up early and then suddenly have to get up an extra hour early, it's a little rough. That transition period is hard. But anyway, so we got our clocks moved forward. It's almost springtime. COVID is just about over, right? Like, it's pretty much over. Yeah, I mean, all the mask mandates are done now. Like Texas, Washington, the places we have stores, and most places around the country, like, there's really no more restrictions, no more having to show your card to go places. The only thing really left on COVID seems to be the having to wear a mask through public transportation. And as far as I know, that was extended until next month, until April. But that may be it on that too. So in a month or less, we might have no mask anywhere, anytime again, which is really like normal life again. So anyway, it's nice to be getting back to that. Also, it's spring break right now. It's South by Southwest going on in Austin here, and a lot of the kids in Texas are on spring break. So during their time off school, we hope they come into a Game Over Videogames store and shop with us, hang out with us. If you're seeing this podcast in the very beginning, when it first comes out on Thursday or Friday, we're doing a live music performance in the North Austin Game Over store on Friday, March the 18th, from 1 to 6 p.m. So just come by. We're just going to have some live nerdcore musicians performing in the store. It's totally free, fun for the whole family. Come hang out. We're just gonna hang, make music, and have fun, and talk about retro games all day. So come join us. It's a little free, fun break from the normal spring break South by Southwest craziness. So that's our Game Over store in North Austin at 183 in Lamar from 1 to 6 p.m. on Friday, March the 18th. So definitely check that out. But otherwise, yeah, it's spring. Temperatures going up. It's getting nice and comfy. No more of that cold, freezing weather, hopefully. And so, yeah, we are ready to go with the show. So let's move on to level 1 and talk about current events. And we're back with level 1, current events. So what's going on in the world of gaming this week? I've got a couple of news stories to point out. Super Nintendo World is coming. We talked about this a while back on the show. I think end of last year or early this year maybe it was announced, and they've got one. It's actually up and running, I believe, in Japan now. But they finally talked about bringing it to the U.S., which we knew they would do at the Universal Studios parks. But now we have a date. So let's see. Super Nintendo World USA opened in Japan in 2021. It's under construction now at Universal Studios in Hollywood, and it'll be opening sometime in 2023. So next year sometime in Hollywood, out in California, you will be able to go to Super Nintendo World. And it actually looks really cool. The entire, not just the rides, but of course the entire, landscape and all the buildings and the gift shop and everything. Everything is going to be Nintendo Mario themed. And so really cool. They're also working now already on the expansion to the Japanese one. It's only been open like a year, and they're already expanding it and adding a whole new Donkey Kong land. So that's cool if you want to go to Japan. But no word on Florida yet. They are going to put one at the Universal Orlando Studios park, but they're still waiting on the exact date on that. It looks like right now, the latest I found was it's looking at 2025 or so. So sorry, Florida, you got to wait 3 more years, but it'll come there eventually. In other national gaming news, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, aptly named, is coming out this year. I didn't write down the date. I think it's like June. It's sometime in the summer. But they just revealed the movie poster for that. And it's a really cool look. And there have been some pics online on social media comparing it to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2. April 8th? Is it that soon?
Yep.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's soon then. Well, shoot. Okay. Well, they revealed the movie poster, and it looks just like the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 Genesis box art, which is really cool. I know some people are kind of on the fence about Jim Carrey as, Dr. Robotnik, but But the movie I thought was really good, and I think the sequel will be even better. And I just love that they're playing off of the old design of the old game. So love that. So yeah, apparently, according to Dan, coming out April 8th, which is only a few weeks away. So we should all get excited about that, right? So we definitely want to get out there and support them. The more we support video game based movies, the more they make, and the more money and effort goes into them, and so the better quality they become. So we want to support that type of industry. In more retro gaming news, we talked last week about a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game, and I think like right after we recorded the show, found out there's another one, I guess in celebration of all things Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're doing a collection, the Cowabunga collection, that has 13 titles all on one package coming out to current consoles. I know. That's even more exciting than the news I had last week. Like, we just finished the show, and then I saw this, and I was like, well, crap, that's way better news than what I told last week. So good. So Dan's excited. I'm excited. So here's the rundown of the games. You got Turtles Arcade, Turtles in Time Arcade, the NES original version, NES 2, the arcade game, version, NES number 3, the Manhattan Project, NES Tournament Fighters, Super Nintendo Turtles in Time, Super Nintendo Tournament Fighters, Genesis Hyperstone Heist, Genesis Tournament Fighters, Game Boy Fall of the Foot Clan, Game Boy Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers, and Game Boy Turtles 3 Radical Rescue. Is that right? So how many is that? That's 13. It should be 13. Yeah, 13 titles. So crazy, and just super cool. That's coming sometime this year. I didn't get an exact date on it, but that's really exciting. I love collections of the retro games, and I love it when they go deeper than just the common stuff, right? Like I was talking last week about how they always throw some kind of like Pac-Man game in with a retro collection, and I'm like, that's nice. But when they're doing the collection of like 14 Pac-Man games, that's really cool, because then you get into not just the common everyday Pac-Mans, but you get into some that people never even have heard of, like the really unique or not as widely known or played games. And so in this case, people know probably a lot of those Turtle games, but to be able to have and play all of them, that's really cool. So looking forward to that. In other retro gaming news, do you remember Pokemon cards? Those are a thing. Dan still has them. Dan's always had them, right? Like, you've collected those forever. You had those when I first knew you. But apparently they're just like retro gaming, super popular again. Prices going through the roof. So we had a report of a rare first edition Pokemon Charizard number 4 card from 1999, perfect 10 rating, graded card, sold recently for $336,000 at an auction. The auction also had other like Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, other Pokemon cards, all kinds of other stuff. I guess it was somebody's collection. They were unloading and auctioning the whole thing off. Total revenue at this auction, $3.7 million. So just think for a second, like if you collected Pokemon cards as a kid, and someday you found your box of cards in your garage or attic or something, and you're like, hey, some of these are probably worth something, some of them probably aren't or whatever. I'm just going to do this auction and sell them all off. And you got $3.7, almost $4 million for them. Man. And you could just tell your parents, like when they thought, as you were a kid, you just kept pissing money away on those cards. And they're like, why are you buying more cards? You already have plenty of cards. What do you need more cards for? Those are never going to be worth anything. And you'd be like, suck it, Mom and Dad. I got my $4 million. I'm buying your house. Oh man! So anyway, I thought that was great. But just like retro gaming, I mean, it's the prices are going up, and they're going up so fast. And when you grade them, and these grading agencies, it's even a faster and higher, like exponential rise in price. Because everybody, especially at those price levels, you don't want to just pay a person $300,000 for a card. You want a card that's been rated and like sealed in a little package, and it's objectively verified to be legit and everything. And to do that, it costs a lot more money. So
there's actually a huge problem with fake sealed boxes.
Sealed card boxes?
Like people will make fake like you know how if you buy a box at retail, retail box, it's like it comes in a box, and then you open the box and there's cards in there. there's a huge problem with people selling fake of those. So
Oh,
you spend
yeah.
$300,000 on a box of Pokemon cards, and then it's all fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Dan's saying there's a lot of fakes out there right now with
Watch out.
sealed collections. So yeah, I'm always a little leery of buying something that's sealed, and that's why part of these grading services are used, because people kind of hate on them because is it legit or not? Do they kind of tamper with the auctions and affect the pricing side as well as the verification side and stuff like that? But you do want somebody to look at it. You do want you don't want to just take somebody's word that it's sealed. I mean, anybody that would go to a Blockbuster in the 80s and 90s, they have those little shrink wrap machines in every store. And so just because something is shrink wrapped or in a box doesn't mean it's new and sealed. It just may be sealed by some dude sometime. Mm-hmm. So Dan's saying there's a lot of fakes out there. Definitely is, and or are a lot of fakes. So yeah, we definitely want to be careful of that. But yeah, retro cards, retro gaming, anything. Retro related is just going through the roof right now. It's really, you could argue it's a great time to be living as somebody who loves, the 80s and 90s. But it's also a really tough time because all that stuff is out there. It's in the pulp culture mainstream again, but it's so expensive now. Like, you can get it, but it's so expensive to get those original ones, especially like the mint condition types. So anyway, that was a huge auction. And also, I got a note of apparently the most expensive card ever sold was a 1998 Pocket Monsters Japanese promotional holographic Pikachu card, which also sold this year, just a little earlier, a couple months ago, for $900,000. So almost $1 million for one card. So crazy stuff. But yeah, if you have those cards, hang on to them. And if you have them at home at your parents' house, call mom. I mean, you should call mom anyway, right? Mom and dad, and just say, hey, guys, how's it going? By the way, remember that box in my room? Don't touch my stuff. I need it. I want it back. Ship it to me wherever I live now. Get it back to me. I want that stuff. I want my video games. I want my Pokemon cards. I want it all because I'm buying a house and I need that money. So anyway, always be nice to your parents, too. All right, so that's it on gaming news. So thanks for joining us on that segment. Let's move on to level 2, and we're going to talk about company events, what's going on in your local Game Over video game store. And we're back with level 2, the company events. So what's going on at your local Game Over video game store lately? Well, of course, we have sales going on. Sales coming up. We're doing a Intellivision and ColecoVision. We call it our Double Vision sale. So Intellivision and ColecoVision games, used games, are 30% off, which is not small. That's a pretty big discount, 30% off. That's March 18th through March 24th. So probably it's going on right about the time you're watching this video or listening to this podcast. So get out and check those out at our local stores. You can also shop online at GameOverVideogames.com. And if you buy Intellivision or ColecoVision games during that time, you enter code RETRO30, RETRO30, at checkout, and you get 30% off. So you can do that online. The next sale after that is going to be wallets and lanyards. So all of our cool video game related wallets, lanyards. If you wear those for work or events that you go to, you always get some kind of cheesy one that comes with it or has your company logo or something on it. Get rid of that. Let's yank that and throw that in the trash. But you can get a cool Sega Genesis one or a Nintendo one, and then put your little ID badge for your cool company that you work at on the bottom. But yeah, so upgrade your style on your lanyard. That's March 25th through March 31st. It's 25% off, which again, that's a good savings. You can do it in our stores, in the retail stores in Texas and Washington, or online at GameOverVideogames.com. The coupon code on that one is GAMER25. So GAMER25. It's like a spelling test when I do this show, isn't it? And most of the time I pass. Sometimes I have to think. Gamer, G.
You have a cheat sheet. You're written down.
I know, I have it written down too. Gamer, does that one have a silent letter? Is the Z in that one and it's silent? Okay. Okay, so those are the next two sales. So we always have some kind of cool sale going on. Upcoming events. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this show, we actually have an event going on right now. If you're watching or listening to this show on the first couple of days, come to the North Austin Game Over Video Game Store at 183 in Lamar on Friday, March the 18th. We're doing a live music to celebrate South by Southwest with some really cool nerdcore musicians. A lot of different style of music. It's all like, nerdy, anime, gaming related stuff. But it's really cool. It's going to be fun group of people. And it's totally free. So come hang out with us, bring your friends. We're just going to be hanging out at the store, talking retro games. I'll be out there so you can hang out with me. And it'll be fun. So come join us for that. Also, I should mention that is put on, it's called Nerdcore Days. It's actually going on all this week, but by the time you see this video or hear this podcast, most of it will be over, except the Game Over one, which is at the end of the week on Friday. But it's put on every year by DJ Rockman, who's, a friend of mine. He collaborates with me for CGF and, does our DJ in the stage area of CGF every year. Really cool guy, and he does this every year to bring in, a lot of his friends from out of town, and they all, perform at various places around Austin during South by Southwest, and we're always happy to be one of the venues, one of the locations. And the cool thing about performing at one of our stores is it's always free for the attendees, too. It's not like going to a club or going downtown where, you got to hassle with parking and, getting, well, I don't want to say getting attacked walking down there, but there's some shady element, down there. You know how it is in a downtown area. But especially during South by, tons of people. But here it's like our store, it's a little bit out of downtown, so parking is free and plentiful. It's safe to walk from your car to the store, and it's totally free. There's no cover charge or anything. You just come in and hang out with us. So definitely check that out, and thanks to DJ Rockman for collaborating on that one. In CGF news, Classic Game Fest, the biggest retro gaming event in Texas and one of the biggest in the country. I think it's literally been the biggest in the country the past couple of years with COVID shutting down a lot of the conventions. Our event last year was massive. So anyway, we're looking forward to a big one this year. We're already now up to 90 vendors, artists, guests, bands, booked for this thing. It's going to be enormous. This is our 15th anniversary, so we've been doing this a long time. And so if you want to see what a really big retro gaming convention is like, you need to look into Classic Game Fest. So tickets are available at classicgamefest.com. You can also go there to look up vendor booth information, find out how much the booths cost and what you get, like tables and badges and chairs and stuff. All the details are there to apply for a vendor table. It's online. So check out all that info, classicgamefest.com, or you can follow our social media as well. We've started announcing the guests and the bands and stuff like that. So at least every week, if not more often than that, we'll be posting the newest thing, who's been added to the list. And so follow our social media for Classic Game Fest to see all the latest and greatest news and announcements and updates for that event. Also, let's see, new products in our stores. We talk about this sometimes on the show when we have cool new products to show. I don't really have specifically a new product to show this week, but I did want to let you know that we have a new web store manager now handling the web store for Game Over Video Games. And while that might not really seem that exciting to you watching the show, it's really exciting to all of us that like shopping at Game Over, because what that means is by having somebody dedicated to that, we've been adding a lot of new inventory to the web store lately. So if you check out gameovervideogames.com, if you can't find something at your local Game Over store, or if you don't live near a local Game Over store and you just want to find cool retro games, check out our website, gameovervideogames.com. There's new stuff added constantly now to that website. We're also constantly checking prices to make sure prices are accurate based on whatever things are going for in the market these days. But really good selection, bigger and better than a lot of the local retro game stores out there. So if you can't find what you need locally, definitely check out our website, and we'd love to help out. You can shop 24/7, of course, because it's a website. And we also offer free in-store pickup. So if you live near a store, but you don't find what you need there, but you can find it on our website, you can order it and have free in-store pickup at your local Game Over store, and we'll get it to that store for free, and then you come pick it up when it gets there. Or you can have it delivered straight to your house. So anywhere you live in the country, anywhere across the United States, even Canada is included, that we'll deliver for a flat $10 in the U.S. or a flat $50 to go to Canada. And you can get any of our products. Doesn't matter how big your order is, flat shipping. So basically anywhere in the U.S. it's $10, and we'll ship straight to your house. So definitely check out our website. New and exciting stuff added now daily to the website. So that is it on new products in the stores and local news at Game Over Video Games locations. So let's go on to level 3, the feature section. And this week, we're going to have a very exciting feature segment that features on this game right here. This is Boogerman for the Sega Genesis. We're going to talk about it. We're going to read some cool stuff out of the manual that I think the manual itself is going to be like a really fun read. And then we're going to play and see what it's like. So let's go now to level 3 and check out the Boogerman. And welcome back. This is level 3, the feature section of the show. And today we're going to talk about the game Boogerman. We have the Sega Genesis version here. I believe it came out on Super Nintendo also. I was going to do a game manual game, where I read the manual and you try and guess which one it is. And I started looking through this manual, and I've actually never played Boogerman before. But it's just the manual alone is worth a read because it's pretty funny. So I'm going to read that for you first, and then we'll play the game and see what it's all about. Okay. So it'll be partly for the podcast listeners to read the manual, and then for the video watchers on YouTube, you'll get to see some gameplay on there. So everybody wins today. It's to reward all listeners of Game Overcast. All right, so Boogerman. So what do you think it's about? It has a subtitle. It's called A Pick and Flick Adventure. Now what do you think it's about? Yeah, it's about that. So basically, it's a game about flinging boogers. So yeah, definitely appeals to that teenage delinquent in all of us. But there's a story. Look how long the story is.
Oh my gosh. It's a novel.
You wouldn't think that a game called Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure, would have like a 2-page write-up story to it. But here we go. I'm going to read the story. So
your best audible book reading voice.
So yes, here's my ASMR for the week or the month. So you can mark this point in the video or the podcast and come back to it for like a little nighttime reading. So I'll put you to sleep with this sweet bedtime story. All right, the story of Boogerman. Here we go. It was a dark and stormy night at the strange new science lab built high in the hills above Takey Dump. I'm sorry. This is going to be hard to read. The world's largest landfill. Other than this unusual storm, all was well in the world. This was not the case just a short time ago. The world had come dangerously close to being buried in its own garbage and pollution. All was saved when local mad scientist Professor Stinkbomb invented a device that could transexist the world's pollution to another dimension, a dimension that had come to be known as Dimension Excrement. Everything was running well, and there had been no complaints, that is, until now. An out-of-practice superhero known as Boogerman left his mansion and identity as eccentric millionaire Snotty Ragsdale to work at the lab and re-enter the exciting world of crime fighting, mystery solving, and floor sweeping.
Wait, so he's Batman?
No, he's an eccentric millionaire who works at a lab, and he's going to enter the world of crime fighting.
Yeah.
Just listen to the story. He's totally different than Batman.
Iron Man.
Okay. So it has a similar story to other superhero origin stories.
Pretty similar.
Okay. Can I continue? Okay. All right. So he's going to go back to work at the lab, re-enter the exciting world of crime fighting, mystery solving, and floor sweeping. Now, Batman doesn't sweep floors, though. That's what Alfred does. Anyway, he took the job as janitor so he could keep a close eye on the lab until he could confirm the safety of the operation and find out exactly where the pollution was going. He had a bad feeling about this latest solution to the world's problems, and the lab was in need of a good cleaning anyway. This night, his suspicions would come true. The process of trans-existing pollution to another dimension relies upon a very special fuse constructed of an isotope of an extremely rare element known as Snotrium-357.
Good God.
This crystalline structure of absurdly great power converts waste into a particle beam and fires it into the direct center of a cosmic-oriented malextruding, misanthropic, ocular, nimbus, warping, astrophysical, space and time eradicating basket, better known as common waste basket.
Is that an acronym?
That's an acronym. Cosmic, oriented, malextruding, misanthropic, ocular, nimbus, warping, astrophysical, space and time eradicating basket. So,
Wow.
It's a common waste basket.
Wow.
Yeah, no irony there. It was the crystal fuse that worried Snotty. Could its power be used for evil as well as for good? In the wrong hands, it could be used to commit the most hideously heinous of humanly crimes. A person in possession of such power could jaywalk across a street, drive in a carpool lane without passengers, or even spit on the sidewalk without even getting caught. Oh, the horror. This night, the unthinkable happens. Wow. There is not any part of that is not, forced to be some kind of reference to boogers. That's so funny. So anyway, yeah, pretty funny story. And then, so normally this is not that exciting of a part of the book, but like this is what all the buttons do on the controller. So let's see what the buttons do. Do you think it's like, run and jump and, stuff like that?
Maybe shoot something.
Shoot stuff. Yeah. It's a little more to it than that, Dan. Let's see. Okay. So run. Let's see. Here, I'll show you. I'll give you like a visual here. So run is pressing left and right on the control pad. Okay. That's pretty straightforward. That's like any game.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Okay. To jump, you press the B button. Boogerman can jump while standing, running, and while hanging onto objects. So that's the B button over here, so he can jump. That's pretty straightforward,
Basically
too.
Mario.
That is nothing special.
Yeah.
All right, push. If you want to push an object, you press left or right on the control pad when standing next to the object. And Boogerman can only push certain objects. Okay? Again, that's pretty standard.
It's like any guy.
Like any guy. You can push stuff sometimes. Okay, so here's where it gets fun. So flick. One of your moves is a flick. To flick a booger, press the A button. Boogerman can flick boogers while standing, jumping, and ducking. That's funny.
My God.
Yeah. So he's a good flicker. He's one bad mother flicker. Watch your mouth. Okay. Then he's got the loogie option. Do you remember loogies? Loogies where
Yeah.
you really get it in there. That's going to be awful on the audio podcast. Sorry. So a loogie, you press the A button while Boogerman has the milk bottle power up, and then Boogerman can loogie while standing, jumping, and ducking. So if you have the milk and you hold down the A, then instead of flicking, you loogie. And it has like pictures. I don't know if you can see the pictures, but it's pretty funny. Okay.
Do you want to see the picture?
No, it's okay. Burp. You can burp by pressing the C button. Boogerman can only burp while standing. Yeah. We all know that, right? You can't burp unless you're standing up.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Science.
Sure.
Science. Okay. There's more. There's a whole nother 2 pages of stuff. There's only 3 buttons, but apparently they do a lot with them. Okay. Super burp. To super burp, you press and hold the C button until the gas meter flashes, and then release the C button. Boogerman can only super burp while standing. Boogerman can break through certain barriers by using a super burp. Okay.
Jeez, man.
Okay, duck. Press down to duck. Okay, that's also pretty straightforward. That's kind of boring. All right. Fart. Who likes to fart? Yeah, Dan does. Yeah. Wait, he just did it just now. Okay, to fart, you hold down the control pad to duck, then press and release the C button. And Boogerman can only fart while ducking. Because we all know you have to be like squatted down to fart. You can't do that standing up. So you can only burp when you stand. You can only fart when you sit or squat. Again, science, All right, super fart. Who wants to super fart? I do. To super fart, you hold down on the control pad to duck. Then you press and hold the C button until the gas meter flashes. And then you release the C button to super fart while ducking. You can break through certain barriers by using a super fart, as we all know. All right. Fly. To fly, jump and press and hold the C button. And when Boogerman has the chili power up, move Boogerman left and right with the control pad, and by alternating holding and releasing the C button, Boogerman can fly at any height. Okay, that sounds really confusing. Okay, you jump and hold the C button, and then move left to right, and he can fly.
Great. I guess we'll see how that goes.
Wow. There's 2 more pages.
Oh my god.
Okay, this may be a longer segment than I thought. Okay, hanging. To hang onto an object, I'm going to go faster here. To hang onto the object, you press up while jumping, and then you can hold onto it and press down to slide down. Boogerman can hang onto certain objects. Okay, again, that's pretty straightforward. Up and down to hang and drop off of things. Swing. To swing from an object, you jump to a swingable object, and Boogerman will automatically grab hold of that object, and then you press left to right on the pad to swing from object to object. Note, holding down on the control pad while jumping will tell Boogerman not to grab hold of objects. Okay. A butt womp. You want a butt womp? To butt womp an enemy, you jump on top of them. Some enemies take more than one womp to defeat. Caution, some enemies are not vulnerable to this attack. They have protection, such as hard hats, spikes, or pus. Okay. Dig. Boogerman can dig through trash to find hidden items by pressing down while standing in a pile of trash. Hold down until Boogerman is finished digging and an item will appear. Boogerman will then automatically collect that item. Okay. Looking, you can look up, down by pushing up, down. To pause, you press the start button. Okay, so that's pretty much all the controls. But dang, who would have thought there was so much story and so much to learn about playing Boogerman?
I feel totally...
Are you ready to play Boogerman, Dan?
I feel like a Boogerman expert.
I feel a little confused and intimidated by Boogerman. Like, who would have thought this game is so complex?
Let's play it.
Okay. Yeah, it also has stories on each of the bad guys. But I won't get into that right now because I want to play the game. Yeah. Let's play Boogerman. Okay, so we got it. We got our trusty Genesis here, and this is CIB. Yeah, you know me. This comes with a poster and everything.
What's the poster of?
Well, I hope Boogerman, but I don't know. What is it a poster of? Ooh, neat. I'm trying to be real careful with this. Interplay. Nice.
You got Clay Fighter, you got Claymates, you got, what is that?
All the Interplay games. Yeah, Clay Fighter. What is that, like Bad Dudes or something? Can't see that. Yeah, I can't tell that one. Yeah, Lost Vikings.
Where's Earthworm Jim? No Earthworm Jim?
I don't see Earthworm Jim.
Well, that poster sucks.
Well, you know what? You suck. So there. Okay. This is like a brand new copy of this game, so that's awesome. All right, so I got my trusty little TV and little Genesis, and I'm gonna fire this up. Hopefully it'll play on the first try. Boom! Dan was worried it wouldn't play right away.
There you go.
Let me turn this up. How's the sound for that, Dan?
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Oh, what happened here? I went into the menu. Get out of the menu. Okay. Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure. Brought to you by Interplay. All right, so let's do this. How do we get going here? Oh, you go down the toilet to start. All right, it's a dark and stormy night at Professor Stinkbomb's lab, where a machine has been built to save the world from pollution by trans-existing it to dimension excrement. Eccentric millionaire Snotty Ragsdale. This is the same thing I just read to you. There's a lot of backstory now. Okay. And okay. This night, his suspicions will come true. Okay. The Flatulent Swamps, level 1. Alright, so there's our hero, Boogerman. So there's he's flicking his boogers. Jumping. Oh, there's a plunger. What do I do with the plunger?
You only have 2. You're limited on burps, too. Careful.
Am I limited on burps?
Yeah.
Where's my burp meter? Oh, it's this?
Yeah.
The gas? Okay. Oh, so if you just leave him alone, he just starts picking his nose?
Yeah, just like a real person.
Oh, he ate that one. That one was tasty. Look, he's all happy. Okay. Okay, so now let me see if I can remember how to do these special moves here. Okay, so... Oh, there's the fart. That was the super fart.
You're running out of gas.
Am I? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll just go then. Okay. Alright, let's see. Look at these happy trees. Okay, I got some kind of special cape. That's nice. Okay. How do I get up there? Whoops. This is just the kind of like... Oh, there's a springboard. Okay.
That gave you more gas.
That gave me more gas? Okay. This is the kind of game that, like, parents would hate just because it's just so crude and obnoxious, but kids like the 13-year-old and all of us would love this.
This is peak 90s gross out humor.
Yeah, this is like Beavis and Butthead and just, yeah. Cool. Okay. Wait. Oh, okay. Look, I'm hanging on to all the slimy vines. Oh, wait.
The trajectory of that booger is very specific.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Rad, cool. It's got all those 90s buzzwords. You had to have attitude in the 90s. Like Sega.
Burp at him.
Burp at him? Wait, which one is that? C?
Didn't do anything. Oh, you got to fart at him. That's what it is.
Oh,
How do
man.
you get him?
I guess I just have to jump in between them.
It's a nose tree.
Did I just go in his nose?
What the heck?
You go up one nostril and out the other? Oh my gosh.
That's wonderful.
But I'm out of boogers? What? How did I run out of boogers?
Is there... I didn't see a booger meter on the...
I guess this is. See, he's pulling. That's the finger and that's the nose.
Yeah, you gotta be liberal with those boogers.
All right. So I can't just be flinging boogers like willy nilly,
Wait,
you know.
Look at the gas back there.
What?
You're not gonna fall. You're not gonna fall. You just swing back and forth.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh. How do we get up there? Just going up through the nostril, that's all.
He's got a flamboyant jump.
Hey, don't make fun of his jump.
I'm not. I'm just looking at commentary.
Go down the toilet. Okay, so now I'm in the sewer. Now I'm going to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles down here. Where's April O'Neil? Oh, what? I just jumped into the slime and
How are you
the...
supposed to know?
I don't know. Oh, he says booger. Oops. Cool. I'm rad. Cool. Catchphrase. Cool. Okay. Go up through the nose, down through the nose. not going to go down this time. I'm just going to keep going this way. Oh, and I guess that's where you come up. All right. Bonus.
Do it.
Flatulent Swamps level 2. Swamps level 2. Or swaps. All right. Now, I feel sorry for the audio, listeners on the podcast, because all they're hearing is these occasional, like, cool, rad, fart.
That music's pretty slapping, though.
Yeah, the
Over.
music's pretty good. Nice little ad for Game Over there. That's our password.
Pizza Guy, Yeti, Potato Man, and Axe Swinging Goblin.
Okay. With one plunger down here.
Well, I think that, I don't know what that is.
Huh. Well, I think we should probably leave it there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
We've had enough.
It is fun. I mean, it's just not even high school. It's like middle school humor, fun. But yeah. Let's see what they show here. Oh, he's just gonna do the same level I just did. So no, not covering any new territory here.
Think about Boogerman.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
What do you think?
Here's the thing.
I don't know if you're in the frame here.
The animation is great. The music
Yeah.
is great. Sound effects are great.
Should we rate the game? What do you rate the game?
They obviously poured a lot of love into a lot of aspects of this game. I think the gameplay leaves a lot to be desired. Like, they went hard.
Bits.
They went hard on the whole burp fart thing,
Oh, here's a new level.
but they don't really serve the game that much. Like,
yeah, but
everything.
a lot of old platformers are like that. It's basically just.
Well, I'm just saying, if I can.
Side-scrolling, put with crude humor to every action you can do.
But if I compare it to something like Earthworm Jim, where you have your snot sidekick that helps you swing, you have your blaster, you have gross out humor, but it all serves a purpose. This is all just gross for gross sake.
Yeah.
I don't
This
know.
does seem pretty extreme.
I give it a C+.
C+? All right. Here, let me turn it down a little bit here. We'll let it just keep going. Yeah, so I don't know about. I guess I'd say C+ also. I mean, it's one of those kind of games that it's probably, if you sat down and played it all day, it's probably fun or funny to play if you're in the right mood for that.
I think it would get old.
But after a while, it would get kind of old. So I think for a while it'd be fun and definitely be fun in like a group setting, like at a party or something, because everybody would just be laughing their butts off, listen to this game for a while. But then over time, you'd realize that it's kind of a so-so game. So yeah, that kind of wears thin. But it is funny to see that kind of humor in a game, because it's not very common, and certainly objectionable to some people, which some people like. It's nice to irritate your parents every once in a while. But anyway, so that is Boogerman, available on Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, and I think other consoles around that time. Was it? What consoles was that on? Boogerman.
Oh boy. Here we go.
I'm gonna ask Dan to look this up. So what was Boogerman released on? It was more than just those two.
We've got. That's it.
Just those two?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, it was just those two then. Just Genesis and
It was
Super
on
Nintendo.
Virtual Console on the Wii.
Oh, they had a Virtual Console on the Wii. Okay. Well, anyway, so cool. So that is the end of the feature section on this show. So thank you for joining me on this crude pick-and-flick adventure of a segment. And we'll move on now to level 4 with the boss battle, and we'll do that next. And we're back with level 4, the boss battle. And, I was just thinking, just coming off of that feature section of, flinging boogers and farts and all that kind of gross, humor. For the boss battle, I was going to talk about social media haters. And so to me, that seems like kind of an odd but similar parallel. people that fling boogers, like people that hate on social media. Anyway, so we've talked about this before on the show, and from time to time, and it's definitely one of those battles that I think everybody deals with, no matter how big you or your company are, no matter how popular you or your brand or your creative channels are, you're going to get haters out there. We don't know why. They just exist, and they really like to exist, and they fight hard to exist. But they're out there, and it's kind of like when, I'd have to talk to my kids about bullies, right? You have to, have these talks with your kids about, well, sometimes people just pick on you, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You try and walk away, you can try and reason with them, and then otherwise you try and walk away. Ideally you don't want to, fight them back. You just have to just go a different direction. Sadly, bullying doesn't stop when you grow up because of the internet. Thanks, social media. But yeah, so there's always haters out there. We get those, all the time too. I remember I had somebody ask me one time, one of the questions that just as, the owner of Game Over and somebody that I assume from social media or whatever, like, or maybe shopping in our stores, they just realized or thought that, well, Game Overs, they're cool and they're successful, and, so they don't have to deal with that kind of crap anymore, right? Wrong. Yeah, we, even me as, a middle-aged, business owner, arguably relatively successful at this enterprise. But yeah, I get bullied online, and it sucks. But it's something that people just have to deal with, and it doesn't matter, how old you are, what race you are, what orientation, what your job is, anything. Like, there are people that will be mean to you on purpose, and to try and hurt you, to try and embarrass you, to try and to take you down, to take you out, to to hurt you, and and sometimes they want things like it's a competitor that's trying to make you look bad because they want to make themselves look better or their company do better, so they make you look bad, and sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason to it. People are just jerks and bullies, and they're just like that. I guess they were just raised that way. I don't know. Maybe their parents are that way. But anyway, so we all have to deal with social media haters. So I thought I'd go through some of the, a little more in depth on that this week. Let's see. So why do they do it? So some people just by nature, sometimes it's literally a competitor that's just saying, hey, don't go to that business or whatever. Like, Game Over sucks. You need to go to this game store instead. Wink, wink. That's my game store. And that's not cool to do that. But it's funny because on social media, it's, as a business, at least, as a person, people hate on each other because, it's always like the fear of missing out, or it's, you're bragging about all your cool car, your cool house, your cool friends and vacations and stuff like that. And then other people just get jealous and they get mad. And so they want to vent, and so they're like, yeah, you suck, or that's your parents' money. That's not your money, or that's and they just find things to make up things to complain about. But even for like a business, like if we're starting out, in the beginning, like with Game Over, we were too small. The stores, never had enough inventory. We're too small. That kind of stuff, not worth your time, whatever. Now we're big and successful, and so now it's like, they're too big. They're all corporate now. You don't want to go there and support them. So it's kind of like you can't win. It's like, man, I can't win by being small. I can't win by being big. There's you're always going to piss somebody off, and so it's kind of sad that it's like that. But there's always somebody that's going to hate you for some stupid reason. So who are they? Who are these people that hate? So yeah, they might have family situations that are bad. They might have a failing business or some kind of jealousy of your business or your friends or your personal life or whatever. Sometimes former employees, former customers, they feel like they were done wrong in their job. They were done wrong on some type of, like, they bought something that turned out to break or something like that, and it was past the return policy, and so we wouldn't take it back. And so they're just mad at us, and they're just out to get us and make us look bad. But it can be anybody of any age, of any, educational level. It's not just kids, and it's not just people that are uneducated that are jerks online. Sometimes, people my age, like adult grown-ass people that, are just jerks. I don't know. So let's see. Why do they hate? So we've talked about that, like, competition. They want to support their friends or look cool for their friends. So they try and badmouth whatever their friends don't like. So if they know that, they have a friend that has a game store, they're going to suddenly, once they find that out, every time somebody asks about a game store, they're going to send them to their friend's store. That's fine. That's being a good friend. Nothing wrong with that. But what's weird is, like, I see people, and I saw somebody just last week that's like regular customer game overs, like come in, at least one of our stores probably every week for years, like 5-10 years, supporter of ours, but somehow always has something negative to say. And it's kind of like, why does this person keep coming in? Because clearly they keep coming in and they keep buying stuff. And, I've seen them personally in a store. And, I'm normally in the office or traveling or whatever, but, like, if I see you in a store regularly, that's a good sign you're in there pretty often because, I'm not in every store every week. But a guy that comes in all the time, and somebody posted online last week on one of the, like, local retro Facebook groups or whatever, they were like, hey, what's some cool game stores to check out in Austin? And so this person who I literally saw in one of the Austin stores about a month ago was like, nothing, all the Austin game stores suck. You need to go to this one that's like an hour outside of Austin. and I'm like, wow, that's really harsh, because people called out Game Over and said, hey, that's a place you could check out. And then and he's like, no, they suck. Don't go there. And I'm just like, dude, like, it's one thing to say, I have a friend that has a store that's, outside or like an hour away or whatever, and you could check him out. But you don't have to, like, in the process also trash us and our stores. Like, I don't know why you have to go to that level. So the why do they do it? I don't know. So always kind of hard to figure. But they are out there. Also in social media, as you, I'm sure, know, hate always gets more attention than love. It's the world we live in. It's sad but true. If somebody puts a video up about, I love Game Over and their stores and their employees are so awesome and the owner of the company is super cool, and, just post some kind of video like that, it'll get some views, hopefully, maybe a few. But if you put up a video that says, I hate Game Over is awful. Like, it's run by a tyrant, this awful guy named David, and, and just put all this negative stuff up there, it'll get at least double the views. And that's sad. That's so sad. But it's just the way social media is. It's a very anonymous form of communication. So, you often don't want to, like, nobody would come up to my face and say, you suck. But sitting at home,
might.
Well, Dan might. A few people might. But most of the time, nobody has the balls to do that. But when you're sitting alone in your house in your little dark room in front of your computer screen, and you see somebody about, hey, Game Over this or that or whatever, and you're like, I hate you, Game Over, you're a bunch of assholes. And, you suddenly have, like, this, they say, like, when you go out drinking, you have, like, liquid courage, right? You start just saying things you would never normally say in real life, but just because you're, intoxicated, you start just saying random stuff. It's the same online. You get this kind of intoxication high of having a comment that other people see and other people love to see, and that's hate normally. And so, if you throw some hate out there, you're going to get a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon like, yeah, they suck. Blah. And you get all that kind of, that endorphin rush of, like, people like me, they agree with me. But you got to throw hate to do that. And it's just, it sucks that that's the case. But it's anonymous. You do it from the privacy of your own home. There's no risk, like in real life, if you, like, I mean, clearly I'm, very athletic and a fighter in every physical way. But really, like, if somebody said something to me on the street and, like, hey, dude, you suck, do you think I'm going to punch them? Like, am I built for that? No. So there's no threat of violence or anything. But people don't even have the nerve to do that anymore in public. They only do it in private, only on these, online, social media pages. So it's really, it's just sad. It's cowardly. It just, to me, it makes them look bad. But they get that high of other people, commenting and joining in the pity party or in the attacks, and just start piling on, and it just gets out of control real quickly, and everybody feels, like they're part of the team hate, and team hate always seems to be bigger and stronger than team love, and that's a big problem in our world right now. So anyway, what can you do? Like I said, you're not going to fight it physically. I'm not going to challenge someone to a fist fight that says something, crappy about me or about Game Over or whatever. Like, I don't want to. I'm not physically capable of it. I don't mentally want to do it. It's just dumb. I'm just like, the best thing you can do is what my mom and dad, and probably your mom and dad, used to say too, is like, if somebody is bullying you, and I tell my kids this too, like if someone's picking on you, you do want to try and confront them, but in a non-violent way. But you can say, hey, that's not cool. I'd really appreciate it if you stop doing that. Anything you can say to let them know, like, you hear what they're saying, but you're not going to deal with that. Like, that's not something acceptable to say, and you're not going to put up with that. And if they say, hey, cool, sorry, didn't mean to, ruffle feathers, whatever, like, I'll back off, then maybe you guys will be friends. I don't know. But if they don't, and they just fight harder, and then they, make fun of you for trying to confront them or threaten physical violence or whatever, then you just got to back off and walk away, because there's no point in getting into a physical fight. There's no point in social media of getting into a back and forth fight, because the hate groups will always gonna win. It'll just keep going. They're never gonna like come around to your side and after a couple of arguments be like, oh, on the other hand, I changed my mind. I think Game Over's awesome now. It just won't happen that way. So, you can try and insert positivity. You can try and, confront any kind of negative press or attention, and address the issues. Like if someone, has an issue with Game Over or something, like we'll reach out, we'll address it. We'll say, what was your issue? And if they say, well, somebody, treated me wrong in the store and this happened or whatever, we'll try and resolve that. But if we, make the effort to resolve it, and then even after that, there's still just hate and hate and hate, eventually, we've had to like block people from social media and like ban people from our stores because they just come in and just hate, and just won't see, logic or reason or give up. So anyway, so the way to fight bullies and cyberbullies and hate on social media is with positivity. So it's really the only thing. You can walk away and you can try and add positivity on your page. You can try and address those issues. Like if someone has an issue with the return policy, you can say, well, this is our return policy and this is why we have this return policy. It's to protect all of us, other people that have things. You don't want us to take something back, say, forever from somebody, because that means that to do that, to cover it, to warranty it that long, the prices have to go up to make up for the fact that some people are going to take advantage of that. So I'd rather just have it, be what it is. We make sure everybody gets something that works. And then, after that point, if something goes wrong, you just deal with that. So the best advice, from parents, like, walk away when you can, confront in a non-physical way if you can. Then just move on. Don't brag when you're successful. I try never to brag when I'm successful. Don't whine or complain when you lose. I try not to whine and complain too much when I lose. But there's ups and downs in life. And everybody has it. I have it as running Game Over. I mean, it's been a roller coaster. I mean, there's some years where I feel very good and very successful, and there's some years where we've almost been out of business. I mean, it's literally just like that. And so you just have to keep telling yourself that hater is just hating because of the way they are. There's nothing you can do about them. You just have to leave them and kind of move on. And any negative press, any negative feedback, any of their friends jumping on the bandwagon being negative, like all that stuff, in time, it's going to be, forgotten about. It's just water under the bridge. It's, hate doesn't last forever like that. But try never to brag. Try never to whine and complain. You have to do what you need to do to be successful and not worry about the social media haters, because they're always going to be out there. Whether you're successful or not, they're going to hate you. Whether you're big or small, they're going to hate you. Whether you're, attractive or not, they're going to hate you. There's just stuff that you can't control. So there's too many of them out there to fight. They're a lot of times not going to change, and they're not going to fight fair if you do end up in some kind of, at least verbal or online kind of back and forth with them. So you can try that, try to address it, head on, and try to resolve it. But normally it's just better after making an attempt or two to do that, just move on and forget about it. Focus on you and your business and your success. Try and be positive in life. Make sure you put out into the world in the things that you say and do with people, especially in person, but even online as well, that you're always positive, and don't be part of the problem with hating on somebody else. And if you're successful in your business, that's great. Don't brag too much about it, and don't be throwing hate on your competitors. Just accept your success, say thank you for your success, and then never badmouth the other people out there. Let's see. So that's pretty much it, really. I just wanted to go through some of the social media hate, and it's something we all have to deal with, but nobody is immune. I'm not immune from it personally. As a business, Game Over's not immune from it. We get that. And GameStop, the biggest game store chain out there, they get tons of hate, and they're not all bad, right? I mean, some of it's true. Some people, definitely have valid issues with GameStop, but like, for the amount of hate they get, it's really not fair. It's just, they just have to deal with it, and we have to deal with it, and a lot of you probably have to deal with it. So I'm not perfect as a person. I try to be good, and I try to do the right thing. I'm not always good. I don't always do the right thing, but I try. And if I mess up, I try and fess up and apologize and try and make things right. And to me, that's all you can do to get better. So if you throw, hate or negative comments at me or whatever, I'll try and talk about it. I'll try and address it. I'll try and resolve anything I can resolve. But past a certain point, if you just want to hate me forever, or you want to hate Game Over forever, I can't help you there. I mean, I'm not in a position where I want to hate anybody forever. That's just not who I am. So I'm not perfect. Game Over's not perfect. Classic Game Fest is not perfect. But me and all of those events and companies and all of our employees, like, we really are good people, and we try to make the right decisions and do things that make sense. So please be understanding. And if you ever have an issue with me personally, with Game Over, with Classic Game Fest or anything, reach out, talk to us, ask us about it. Email. You can email me privately. Just email podcast@gameovervideogames.com, and that goes to me. So you can talk to me about it privately. I'm happy to try and resolve things. But don't just hold the hate forever, and don't just vent the hate forever online. That just is no good, and it really just makes you look bad. So I try every day to get better and improve, and so we should all do that too. And to anybody that has posted things about Game Over or Classic Game Fest online, all I can say is just kind of a general, I'm sorry if there's anything that we did to upset you. I'm sorry that we're either too big for your taste, we're too small for your taste, our stores have too much stuff, too little stuff, I'm too nice, I'm too mean, I'm sorry. But, we try to do the best that we can. So let's all try harder to be positive in life, and especially with social media, because we definitely need less of the haters out there. So if you see a hater, or you see somebody jumping on a bandwagon and somebody says, hey, Game Over sucks, or GameStop sucks, or something like that, don't be the person that just jumps on and is like, yeah, they really suck. Be the person that jumps on and says, hey guys, just let them do their own thing. Like, if you don't like it, don't shop there. Period. End of story. You don't need to stay there all day at your computer just typing out random negative crap about them. Just let it be. And just say, hey, I like this other place. Cool. You go to GameStop, I'll go to Game Over, whatever. Everybody's happy. You don't have to badmouth each other. Anyway, so that's it on social media haters. So let's try and help each other to not be a social media hater. Spread positivity in the world. So that's the moral of my story today. So let's go on to the bonus level now. We'll do fan feedback and wrap up the show. So we're going to go there now. And we're back with the bonus level. So let's see what the comments have been the past week or so on the show. Only a few this time to go over. So Leptonics, hello. Thanks for commenting. He says, great show. He called me the sexy ear guy because I got my sexy ear back. So thank you. He's also talking about ColecoVision, and he said that reminds him of the ColecoVision and the Atari 5200 were kind of more arcade type units back in the day. Like Atari had a bunch of games, and a lot of them were kind of random games. Some were based on arcades, but some were just kind of random, made for the Atari games. But ColecoVision and Atari 5200 were pretty much trying to be more direct ports of what was in the arcades at the time. So that's an interesting parallel. And he was playing, remembered playing Rocky 3 and Donkey Kong Jr. on the ColecoVision with his friends as a kid, and saying how the ColecoVision controller was so weird. Because it was like that, it looked like a telephone. It had the number keypad at the bottom, and then it had like a little knob, but also you could turn it like a D-pad at the top. So it's a really weird controller. And he suggested eBay for the action figures. So sorry. No, Grogu, we're not going to eBay you. But maybe the other ones. I don't know. So we were asking what to do with all those action figures we got in, the big size action figures. And so one of the things, which we didn't do this week, but maybe on a future show I'm going to do, is I thought we'd keep them when we do some like improv theater here, where I'll act out some kind of scene with the figures. So coming to a Game Overcast in the future. Let's see. Gameplay Lick says awesome video. So yeah, just lots of general kind of good comments. Good videos. Keep it up. So I appreciate all that. So thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for continued business and support of Game Over Video Games and our stores and events like Classic Game Fest, and just being a positive voice in the retro gaming community. Support us in our events. Support your local stores and their events. Support anything in the retro gaming community. That helps all of us. But don't let your support of one thing or one person or one company or one event turn into hate towards the others. Because, there's room for all of us, right? The retro gaming market is huge. So there's going to be a lot of retro events, small and big. There's going to be retro stores, small and big. We need them all. There's a need for all of those out there. Competition is good. Selection is good. So stop trying to bash everybody else just so that your friend or your shop or whatever can get more attention. Like that's not cool. So stop the hate, increase the love. Thanks for watching our show. Thanks for listening to the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for commenting, too. You can always email me at podcast@gameovervideogames.com. If you want to email me a direct question or something that you want to suggest that I do or talk about on the show, you can send that in. Also, you can comment on any of the streams that have commenting as an option, or like when we post it to Facebook or YouTube, you can add a comment on there. And, hopefully we'll see all those and be able to mention it on a future show. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching, sharing, streaming, commenting, subscribing to our YouTube channel, all that kind of stuff. Subscribing to any of the podcast streams so that you get the shows every week. We try and put them up every week on Thursday, Friday at the latest, but should be Thursdays every week. So anyway, thanks for staying with us and watching the show. I hope you enjoy your spring break and have a great week, and we will see you next time on Game Overcast. Thanks, and game over.
Left heavy or what?
Let's see. I am.
Yeah.
Like my left butt cheek is heavier than my right.
Well, now that's a good trivia. David trivia. Which butt cheek is heavier?
Right. I'm trying to sit up straight here and let's see. Yeah, I still turn that way.
Also, the chair probably is just cheap.
The chair is probably cheap. It might be like, did you ever play that Ouija board game? You know what that is?
Yes, I know what it is. I don't think I ever did.
Like everybody puts their hands on the thing and move it around and it spells out words and freaks people out because you're like, who's going to die? And then you start spelling out somebody's name in the room and they're like, oh my gosh, it's spelling my name. The ghosts are, the spirits are going to do me in. But it's really just, your subconscious and, stuff like that moves it around. And so whether you intend to or not, you end up spelling stuff out.
Right.
Yeah, so that's the chair. The chair is like a Ouija board. It's possessed, and it's gonna kill me.